Hello everyone. So today I'm going to be talking about intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is cycles between fasting and eating, and it has an emphasis on not so much what you're eating, but when you're eating. And fasting is when you're not eating, or if you are eating, it's very little, it's not much at all. So the science behind this and how fasting affects your body is that fasting allows for your insulin levels to decrease because you're not eating. And this occurs because your body's glucose stores are being all used up as energy and there's not more food coming into your body. So your body has to switch over to using stored triglycerides in the fat cells and converting that to use for energy instead of the glucose. So you're burning fat and using that for fuel. And because you're abstaining from eating for a large period of the day, you're therefore reducing your caloric intake and losing weight because of that. So that's a little overview of intermittent fasting. And then there's three popular modifications of the fasting. So the first one is the 16-8 method. And with this one, you're only eating for 8 hours out of the day and then fasting or not eating for the other 16. So, for example, you would skip breakfast and then eat from noon to 8 p.m. The second method is the eat, stop, eat. So, you would eat normally whatever time you want for 5 days out of the week, and then you're fasting for 2 days out of the week, which is in a whole day counts as like a 24-hour period. The third method is you're only eating 500 to 600 calories on 2 non-consecutive days out of the week, so they can't be in a row, and then you're eating normally for the other 5 days. So, for example, like you couldn't like not eat like Monday and Tuesday, you need to like spread them out so they have a gap in between them. And that one is called the 5-2 method. So I'm going to be trying the first method that I talked about, the 16-18, because it seems pretty straightforward and that's the one that I've heard the most about, and I feel like it'll like blend into my lifestyle pretty easily. I chose intermittent fasting because a few members of my family have tried it and liked the results they got, so I wanted to see like how that would fit into my life and if I liked it or saw any positive changes from it. Now we're going to talk about the benefits of intermittent fasting. So the benefits of this are improved cardiovascular and metabolic health, decreased triglyceride, and improved insulin resistance. It's easier to eat fewer calories because it's a structured regimen compared to not fasting and just eating like 3 meals and snacks throughout the day. Also, eating less frequently is linked to having an increased lifespan, so possibly living a longer life. Intermittent fasting promotes weight loss and decreased body fat percentage, and it burns more stored fat than a traditional diet. Some cons or negatives of intermittent fasting is that some people find it hard to maintain for a longer period of time, so it's not very sustainable. It also may aid in weight loss, but compared to not fasting and following just a traditional diet, the difference in weight loss isn't significant. So, a tough study found that between two diet groups, a fasting and a non-fasting group, the fasting group had a 6% weight loss, and the non-fasting group had a 5.3% weight loss, and this was after a 12-month period. So, that's not a huge difference. Again, that's only 0.7% difference between the groups. In the study, they also stated that when they see an increased cardiovascular and metabolic health in someone following an intermittent fasting regimen, it's hard to discern if the increased health can be attributed to the fasting alone or if it's just because of the weight loss. So it's hard to say if it's superior to other weight loss methods like eating less and just working out more because there's such little difference in weight loss. And also, intermittent fasting doesn't work for everyone due to people having different levels of hunger and other factors that play into that. So after doing my research on intermittent fasting, I probably would recommend it as a safe weight loss tool. It doesn't cut out any major food groups. It's not too restrictive. Again, it focuses on when you're eating, not so much what you're eating. So it's pretty simple and easy to follow. And based on the studies I found, I wouldn't say that it works any better than the traditional diet of just like eating 3 meals and snacks when you normally wouldn't exercising. I think that fasting can be a useful tool for beginners who are trying to start a weight loss journey or want to transition to a healthier lifestyle. I definitely think it could aid in restricting calories because of the limited eating window, but again, due to the lack of evidence that the health benefits are due to the fasting alone and not the weight loss overall, I wouldn't say intermittent fasting in and of itself is a weight loss cure-all. Based on what I found, intermittent fasting could help in eating less, but I think the health benefits from it are attributed to the weight loss and not necessarily the fasting. Also, my last point is that everyone's different when it comes to weight loss and fitness journeys. So if someone tries the fasting and they like it and it works into their life, that's great. And if not, I don't think it's a big deal. And I'm sure that there's many other forms of weight loss that would be just as sufficient.